I'm ready to catch those bits, and you're just letting them stay in the fryer.
Letting them get all burnt and shit. No one wants to eat that.
No one wants to eat that shit.
You gotta hit that sweet spot where they end up at the bottom of the fries, and you're like, ooh, a little bonus.
Ooh, a little treaty for me. That's what this podcast is the little treaty for you, T.
It's a treat for your ears, folks.
We're the fry bits of podcasts. Small and not substantial, but you like it anyway.
The small, like, minor amount of onion ring batter you find in the bottom of the
Yep, that's this
Right,
podcast.
Yeah. You see it and you're like, oh, that's nice.
Oh, that's fun.
Hello, welcome back to Fun is Infinite, a Sonic the Hedgehog history podcast celebrating what is now the 30th anniversary. Podcast. This bit's not going to make sense because half of it wasn't recorded.
There's no bit, it's just us saying podcast.
Podcast.
I'm Ganon.
So, yes. Hello, Ganon.
You're Ganon.
It's true.
So, what's your experiences with Sonic the Hedgehog 2?
Sonic the Hedgehog 2, my main memory of it is I played it a lot when my family was moving around when I was very young. Because my dad just kept getting better job offers than just because we could at the time in that economy. We just kept moving. And I just played Sonic the Hedgehog 2 a lot because the Sega Genesis was not hard to set up, and a little TV for me was not hard to set up, so I just set up in a little space, played Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and we eventually got some cats, and I named them both Sonic and Tails because I love Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Aww.
Oh, that's adorable.
That's sweet.
That's like not in the way I would have thought this was going.
I'm not always goofs and bits. I got some love for Sonic the Hedgehog.
Hey, Cara, you ever played Sonic 2?
You should know the answer to this.
Disgusting.
Is the answer
after my poor showing in last week's episode, do you think I have any relevant Sonic knowledge?
Wait, what Sonic have you played?
Basically none.
Wait a second. Awesome.
I'm the fun wild card of this podcast.
Yeah,
I'm here for goofs.
By inviting us both, like, oh yeah, you're both people who have a lot of ties to Sonic. I was like, yeah, this makes sense. And you're telling me Cara has no connections to Sonic whatsoever.
My connection to Sonic is my Sega-loving girlfriend who's already told me I need to get on this fucking podcast.
This is a podcast made of lies. Founded upon expectations which will not be met.
Look, this is how it goes. Kara's also part of my Kingdom Hearts series where the whole gimmick is she didn't know shit about Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
When does Ansem show up in Sonic Hedgehog podcast?
Well, I guess we might as well just get into it.
I'm just gonna drink my water to cope with this.
Let me reach back to my shelf and pull out my copy of Sonic Generations that is covered in dust.
So, Sonic the Hedgehog 1, huge success. It's the entire reason that the Genesis was even doing well, like, anywhere to begin with. So, of course, Sega wanted a sequel fast. And so the development of this game is kind of a wild mess. So
They said, hey, they walked into the Sega office and was like, hey, you gotta go fast.
Bad.
Sonic T. Hedgehog himself.
Yeah, that's right. Sonic Maurice Hedgehog.
That's not canon anymore.
It was when I was a child, and that means that's all that matters.
Ken Penders is a bastard scumboy, and he will not be on this podcast.
If we can get Ken Penders, I would let him on this podcast just so I can make fun of him. The
I
entire
would
time.
not.
Like, hey, KP, can I call you KP? No, just P then.
So Sega was absolutely loving the fact that the game sold incredibly well, but they were anything but happy by the, again, as previously mentioned, outrageously long for the time 11-month development time.
Fucking unbelievable. They couldn't go fast, but they needed to.
So, over the course of time, Yuji Naka got tired of the internal politics at Sega and just straight up quit the company.
Jesus. Instead of gotta go fast, he was like, gotta go.
Gotta go home.
Yuji Naka quitting Sega is going to be a reoccurring thing in this, just for the
Oh,
record.
good.
Yes, it is.
He's like the Kuze of Sega.
He's like the one BioWare guy at BioWare. I don't remember his name right now, but he's quit BioWare like 3 times.
Casey Hudson.
Yes.
Around the same time, the director of the first game, Hirokazu Yasuhara, had moved to the United States to work with Marble Madness creator and future Knack creator / Sony PlayStation ASMR conference holder Mark Cerny at the Sega Technical Institute.
Goddamn. Went on to make Knack. Has a real future ahead of him. When are we doing a Knack podcast?
Never.
I need to know about the tumultuous development of Knack 2.
Did it have a tumultuous
We're getting off track here.
No?
I don't give a shit about Knack.
So, upon hearing that Naka had quit, Mark Cerny quickly scooped him up for STI in September of that year with the promise of a higher salary and more power, though Naoto Oshima stayed behind in Japan and continued working for Sega, even being put in the director's chair for his next project. Good for him.
Nice. Congratulations to you, past.
I've actually got a quote here from an interview with Mark Cerny in 2006.
Ooh.
I am going to make Knack.
It kind of gets immediately into why part of this development was a mess. So, and I quote, I'd managed to reunite 2 of the 3 key Sonic team members at my Sega Technical Institute. They were ready to start work on their next project, and so I asked marketing the obvious question, would you like another Sonic? Bizarrely, the response was, and again, I kid you not, no, it's much too soon. So we found another game to make, and in November, as we were getting started, marketing came back and said, oops, we do need that game, and we need it now. So the team lost 2 months out of an 11-month schedule.
Jesus.
You really gotta go fast. I'm going to keep saying it.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to continue to not react to it and have a fun podcast.
This is a Sonic podcast. I will say the Sonic things that I know.
Podcast.
Naka was originally reticent about joining the project, but did when they agreed to add a 2-player mode to the game. Which also meant that Sonic needed a new sidekick!
Oh, I wonder who it is. Is it another quiz time?
No,
Oh.
sort of. We'll get to that.
Well,
The only, one that got thrown out that I could find anything about was future Spyro the Dragon creator Craig Stitt had originally submitted a flying turtle named Boomer.
I forgot about that. Okay, Boomer.
Rest in peace, Boomer.
But the idea was thrown out for the design by one Judy Toyota, a 2-tailed fox named Tails, who canonically was given that name by Sonic.
Who was the one who killed the idea of Boomer? Who was the Boomer shooter?
Much like we must do nowadays, they threw the Boomer out.
Hey, Cara.
Yes?
Open question time. What's Tails' full name?
Miles Tails per hour.
Wow. And you said you don't know anything about Sonic.
I know I've been culturally osmosed to know some Sonic things.
It's culturally osmosis, like the kind way of saying forcibly fed Sonic facts by your friends.
Yes.
It took me until like 5 years ago to realize that his name is a pun on miles per hour.
Jesus
Christ.
Austin.
Even I knew that.
Look, am a dumbass.
It's like, yeah, watch your words here, buddy.
Unfortunately, the language barrier between the American and Japanese staff started to prove a problem. Mark Cerny was the only person in the office who spoke both languages, and all of the design meetings were done in Japanese. So, many things needed to be thrown on the cutting room floor pretty quickly, like a planned time travel feature, and quite a few of the stages, because originally the plan was for it to have 18 levels,
Jesus.
instead of like the 8 we got.
I still wouldn't be able to name a single one of them.
Well, good news and bad news then, Cara. Multiple choice time or question time. Hey, which of these cut stages isn't real? A. Wood Zone. B. Genocide City Zone. C. Splash Wave Zone. Or D. This is another trick question. They're all real.
I want to say it's D. I think those are all real.
You both are going D?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incorrect. The correct answer was Splash Wave Zone.
Damn it.
Splash Wave is a song from Outrun.
God damn it. I knew Genocide City was real. I've heard of that one.
Genocide City is this is too weird to be in Sonic to not be in Sonic.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it was more like it got changed to Cyber City before just being cut, because it was the Japanese staff was the one doing all of the design and coming up with everything, and the American staff was basically just there for programming. So they had to kind of get pulled aside at some point and go hey, genocide sounds cool, but it's not the thing you think it is.
And so they renamed it Holocaust Town.
Jesus, Gary.
Hey, I'm not the one who came up with it.
Welcome to Race War Village. This is the Fry Bits of podcast.
I'm just as mad about it as you are.
The two-player mode was originally called the Race Wars.
Bad.
Oh.
You can consider this my resignation from this podcast.
You can't resign up from this podcast. We made a vow.
True, I have to stay here in case Austin gets enough Patreons so we can finally watch Sonic Underground.
I will watch Sonic Underground regardless. I think I mentioned this last week that Nemi said she'd watch it with me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So even if this podcast flops, the show will be found in my heart.
Well, according to my recording time, the minute the podcast flopped is about 15:15, so...
No, the minute the podcast flopped is minute 1 of episode 1.
Very true. Podcast.
This podcast has died many deaths, and we're only on episode 3.
Well, it's because we picked up a lot of rings and got a lot of lives.
Fuck.
So, on November 24th, 1992, Sonic Tuesday, because it was a Tuesday, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was released. The game was a wild success and sold 6 million copies over the course of its lifetime, making it the best-selling game on the Genesis.
Yep.
Mark Cerny claims it to be the best-selling 16-bit game, period, but I couldn't find any stats on how Sega or Super Nintendo games had sold without finding the pack-in numbers also included. So I'm not entirely certain how valid that claim is.
Mark Cerny, you are not valid.
Yeah, because like everything that is remotely near it on the best-selling list of Super Nintendo games is also like either right next to it or like 6 million above it, but also they're all pack-in titles.
All right, cancel him, boys. He ain't valid.
Mark Cerny canceled
Oh.
before he could even get Knack out the door.
While I was trying to find out this information, too, I did learn that the 10th best-selling Sega Genesis game was Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Oh, that game sucked. I played it a lot.
Also, obviously, Sonic 1 had more copies out in the wild due to its status as a pack-in title.
Mm-hmm.
So, here's some fun facts. The music was once again done by Dreams Come True keyboardist Masato Nakamura. Arguably a more iconic soundtrack than the first game, Nakamura took better advantage of the Genesis's sound chip's notable functions, and there's a lot more of like a jazz inspiration and funky bass lines throughout the game's soundtrack.
Ooh, always love some jazz inspiration.
It's a good fucking
Yeah.
soundtrack.
Towards the end of development, he also sent over a copy of a new song called Sweet, 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 which was a retooled version of the Sonic 2 ending theme for his band. It's quite good. Yuji Naka claims he cried when he heard it for the first time. Akon would later remix it, and it becomes bar none the funniest song in the entire series.
Oh god.
There is an English version called Sweet Dreams, but the Akon version remixes both the English and Japanese version. So, like, the English version is fine. The Japanese version is hilarious because it still has Akon doing, like, his English ad-libs throughout the track, but with, like, the Japanese vocals.
Strange.
It's great. I love it. I forgot to mention this last time, but it kind of works out. The Japanese box art for all the mainline Sonic games features an English proverb of sorts on it.
Like a biblical proverb?
No, just like a piece of advice.
Okay.
Though Sonic 1 and 2 contain the same wisdom, and I'm going to read this like word for word. Don't just sit there and waste your precious time. When you want to do something, do it right away. It's the only way to live a life without regrets.
Damn.
Jesus, call me out, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Live your life a quarter mile at a time. Always be hungry.
Do them dirty in front of their squad. Sonic the Hedgehog.
So this is just reminding me again that Vin Diesel canonically started the race wars in Fast and Furious.
Stop.
It always comes back to race wars.
That's canon. There's a desert drifting
I
tournament.
I know. We have to get away from race wars.
How have we said race wars this many times on our Sonic the Hedgehog history podcast?
I'm not those kind of gamers.
We're not.
Sonic 2 is the first game I ever played because my mom plopped me in front of a Sega Genesis at the ripe age of 2. It's what spurred my love of video games and Sonic as a character and series. This entire thing is her fault. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, thanks, Austin's mom. My first video game was The Legend of Zelda, and now I go by Ganon.
You're Ganon. I think this comes back to the core, like, reasons of why I've never really played Sonic, is, like, I never had that experience of, like, playing classic Sonic when I was a kid, because the oldest console I've ever had was a Nintendo 64.
God.
It's like, my dad did get me into a lot of video games, but he was, like, almost exclusively a PC gamer. So I was playing shit like Unreal in the Neverhood.
Damn, boomer.
I'm valid. Unlike Mark Cerny.
I'm like Merc Sandy.
When's Knack 3, you fucking fraud?
Coming for your neck, Mark.
Watch your knack.
Watch your neck.
Sonic 2 has quite possibly the most prototype versions out there of maybe any video game. It's to the point that people can quickly identify exactly which copy they're talking about by just describing it as, oh, the one that showed up on Nick Arcade, or the one Simon Y found, or the censor prototype.
Every copy of Sonic 2 is personalized.
Peel back the Sonic 2 cartridge and you'll find a signature from Sonic the Hedgehog himself determining which prototype it is. Oh, wow.
And on the topic of prototypes, perhaps the most famous part of Sonic 2 isn't actually a part of the game that isn't even in the game?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
People quickly realize that the sound test features a weird mystical sounding song that isn't used anywhere, and hackers later found remnants of a stage called Hidden Palace Zone, but it was entirely just garbage data. And, like, when you load it in, you would just fall to your death from, like, the default spawn position or whatever, but it did play the song, so... some of the prototypes do have Hidden Palace Zone in various stages of completion, because it was cut pretty late into development. Though, interestingly, none of the prototypes actually use the unused track.
Huh.
They instead used one of the two-player level songs, which inevitably led to even more confusion over time.
This is starting to get into, like, video game creepypasta territory.
And then realistic blood comes out of the controller, and Sonic has black eyes and says, "Come here, kid." And then the blood whistle plays.
The music only plays from the two-player levels because the second player is Sonic.
Yoshinaka claimed that at some point during development, the idea would be that you would enter the level upon gaining all 7 Chaos Emeralds and be given the ability to turn into Super Sonic. Hey, it's Dragon Ball now.
Hey!
But they instead opted to just give you the ability the instant you got all 7 instead. Which, sure.
Sure, why not? Why not?
Again, probably time crunch. This game was made in 9 years and was bigger than
months.
the first game.
9 months.
Or, yeah, 9 months, but...
They really didn't go
9-year
fast.
development cycle. The greatest
Jesus, what
fucking
is this,
game.
Cyberpunk?
Oh, God.
Sonic Punk.
If we start talking about Cyberpunk, we're going to get into race wars again.
Lining up with this, Masato Nakamura released an album of both of the game's soundtracks that he worked on, along with his original demo versions back in 2011. The unused track does appear on this compilation, and, like, it's just referred to as unused track. It wasn't, like, Hidden Palace Zone or whatever. Interestingly, though, its demo is the only song that has an actual ending instead of looping and fading out.
Huh.
Despite the in-game version having a loop point. So, like, my assumption here is it started off as a cutscene, and then they tried to turn it into a full stage, and then they just cut it because they didn't have the time to finish it.
Interesting.
Overall, I'd recommend listening to the demo versions. There's a lot of really interesting differences there. And also, it's just a neat little bit of history to have out there.
And that deep Sonic lore. This is what we're here for.
Yeah.
That's right. We're here for deep, full political analysis of Sonic lore. So you'll see Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is actually a critique of capitalism, in that the animals represent the oppressed working class, and Dr. Robotnik represents the rich. And you're not going to stop me? I expect you
No,
to
you're
stop
right.
it.
No, you're correct.
Okay, thank you.
Did you know there's a current mandate on all Sonic media where money is not allowed to exist in the Sonic universe?
Really?
Yeah, according to Ian Flynn and Tyson Hess, like, they're not allowed to have any sort of currency. Rings are also not allowed to be shown being used as currency. They just exist in the world.
They've gone away from the ring standard. Mobiums are dead.
That must have happened after Sonic 06, then. Because you do buy power-ups with rings in that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Weird.
I don't know exactly when it started. It's just, as of right now, you're not allowed to show money, but also all of like Vector the Crocodile's
Yeah.
profiles still say that he loves money.
Huh.
He just shows up like, hey guys, you making some money today? And everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about, Vector?
The Sonic universe is now a perfect communist utopia, and Vector is a capitalist sympathizing pig.
He's a crocodile, actually.
Fuck you. What if there was a pig character in Sonic? That'd be fucked up.
There's Porker Lewis. We talked about him last time.
Oh, I forgot about him because I was too distracted by Cookie.
Oh god, Cookie, my new favorite character.
So unfortunately, at the end of the day, we kind of don't really know all that much about Hidden Palace Zone because everybody's been really tight-lipped about it. What we do know, however, is that in 2013, the team of Christian Whitehead and Simon Tomley, who would later go on to make Sonic Mania, would release their Retro Engine remake of Sonic 2 onto mobile platforms, and they had fully completed a new version of Hidden Palace Zone as an Easter egg for fans to find.
Huh.
It, however, did not use the unused song. So close, yet so far.
What song did it use? Is it just a two-player song?
Yeah, I'd use the two-player song from the Mystic Cave Zone level.
Huh.
Fucked
Cop
up
out.
if true.
So, Sonic 2's, yet again, wild success put a lot of pressure onto the next Sonic game to be released. You may remember I mentioned last time that Sega fast-tracked 2 sequels to the first game around the same time?
Yeah.
And that Naoto Oshima had been put into the director's chair for his next project? So, tune in next time where we do some talking about the third mainline game of the series, Sonic the Hedgehog Compact Disc.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes!
God, I kind of want to just go play Sonic 2 again. Now, though.
I mean, it's a good game.
Yeah.
I think I have it on Steam and I've never played it. I have a bunch of Sonic games on Steam that I've never touched.
That's fair.
Cara, after Kingdom Hearts, am I going to just have to drag you through the entire Sonic series?
Oh, God.
Do a Let's Play of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, God. But I think at this point they keep putting out Kingdom Hearts games, so it's more of an if.
I still have a PS3 here. I'm sure I could find a copy of Sonic 06.
God. See, I would do an LP of Sonic 06, genuinely.
I almost beat Sonic 06, but then I got stuck on the level of silver where you have to roll the balls in the pyramid, and I could just not get past that, and I said no. I just said, fuck it, I'm never playing this video game again.
See, I tend to do like live or post commentary shit, but I feel if I had to do Sonic 06, then like
It'd be better live.
that would be the game that would require me to do live commentary.
We'd either need to do it live or, like, stream it.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks so bad.
Yeah.
I remember one of my first Twitter arguments actually was because of Sonic 06. Because I was playing through it, because like I tried to play through it multiple times just to say I've beaten it. And I was just like, this game is really bad, and specifically it's made really shoddily. Like, there's so many fucking bugs and problems. And someone just was, I guess, name searching Sonic 06 and replied to me like, no, the game's not made bad. That's just your opinion. And I was like,
The Sonic 06 Defender has logged on.
I was like, what are you talking about? Like, look at this video I just posted. Like, this should not happen. This is not intended. Like, no, that's just a random thing you made happen. It's fine. It's a good game. I was like, what?
Oh, God. Stockholm Syndrome.
I stayed at one of my mom's friends because our house was getting fumigated.
Because it's Sonic 06.
Because
Well, no,
the game was
but
so
I
stinky.
I did learn she had a copy of Sonic 06, so I was like, I'm going to play through as much of this game as I can in like a single sitting. And I got to Crisis City and I had to stop because the physics had screwed up. the physics had screwed up in such a way where Sonic was standing completely still, 90 degrees to the side on a falling building. So, good game.
Game's
Good
so
soundtrack. Like, actually, though.
It does have good music. It's the game sucks.
15 years since Sonic 06, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
I'll never forget it.
I can't wait for the Sonic 06 episode.
Oh, I'm
that
ready.
that one might legitimately be like an hour long because there is so
There's
much.
So
Yeah,
much
there's a
happened with
lot.
Sonic 06. So much.
Also, I should probably stop recording at some point, huh?
Oh, yeah, same.
No, I'm still going.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I don't know. Just to look forward to that one in
2 million years.
7 episodes.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of Sonic. I can't believe the next one we're doing is Sonic CD, one of the only ones I've played a few minutes of.
A fun
We'll get to
fact,
that next week.
is when I was in first grade, I came up with a Sonic OC named Silver the Hedgehog, who had psychic powers. And
Oh
so
my God.
many years later, when Sonic 06 came out and there was Silver the Hedgehog with psychic powers, I was convinced for a couple of weeks that Sega had been spying on me.
Oh God.
Great.
I never had a Sonic OC, and I'm actually very lucky in that the way I spell my full name, I can't really do the search your name plus the hedgehog on Google Images. Because no one's made Carolyn the Hedgehog spelled like my name. But there are a lot of Cara the Hedgehogs.
There is.
I'm sure I made one when I was a kid because, like, if you're a kid and a Sonic fan, everybody does that. Well, maybe not anymore to like the same extent, but I feel like that was kind of the thing, right?
Oh yeah, I mean I get it. I used to be a brony.
And then Sonic Forces came out, and they were just like, "Hey, what if we made a game where you could make your own character?" Actually, though.
Yeah.
And then also shoved classic Sonic and modern. Oh God, that episode's gonna be wild too.
Yep.
Oh.
Anyways, that's the future. Thank you for listening to Fun is Infinite. See you next time.
That whole thing's going to be like a post end music bit.
Podcast.
Podcast.